as well. I was asking just before if you've ever heard of the Benin bronze. Well, two Benin bronzes that were almost certainly stolen by British colony forces in 1897 when the British Army invaded Benin City, which is now in modern-day Nigeria, are here at Bristol City Museum. Prince Edo State from Benin City has called on the city-owned Bristol Museum to blaze the trail and return the sculpture currently held at the museum next to the Willis Memorial Building. Let's now speak to Loretta Ogboro-Okor, who's a humanitarian and global goodwill ambassador and the author of the book, My Father's Daughter, and she's also from Benin City. Good evening to you, Loretta.
Good evening. Good evening to you, Kelvin, and the team at the studio and all those listening in to us.
Thank you very much for taking time out to speak to us. But first, this is quite interesting because you're not only from Benin City, but your father was around during the period where all this happened. First, tell us about your father's involvement with the then King Ovorame Nogbaisi, who was the Oba or the king, if you like, of the Kingdom of Benin up until the British punitive expenditure in 1897 and the plundering of many artifacts. You want to give us a background about your father's involvement?
All right, thank you. Actually, it was my grandmom, my father's mother, who was in Calabar in exile with her own grandfather, who happened to be Oba Vorame, in 1897 when he was exiled. So my grandmom, my paternal grandmom, is Princess Josephine Ohonbie, and she's the first child of Uswanlele, and therefore was the first grandchild of Oba Vorame Nogbaisi, who was the Oba as at the time the British came to Benin to do their punitive expedition in 1897. So for people like us, and as well for someone like Prince Edun Akenzua, we do have a direct affiliation to these things, as do many Benin people, Edo State people across the world. And it's the same for everyone, Kelvin. If you have a piece of furniture in your house, especially maybe one of sentimental value, maybe something your mom gave to you, and someone comes and takes it away, no matter how much they go or how far they go or how much they tell you, it doesn't matter. You do have a connection to that thing that has been taken away from your home. It is even more painful when you go to that person's home and you then see it decorating their home and their abode. Oftentimes, when you've been told it wasn't good enough for you, when you've been told that it emanates from pagan worship. So I think what you people are doing here today, this October, using Black History Month as a platform to talk about these artifacts, is very, very germane. It is time we begin to have these discussions.
So there are conversations currently going on with the council and Nigeria, Bristol City Council and Nigeria. Can you just give us an update on that?
Yes, there are conversations going on, and they are beginning to work within the framework of UNESCO's 1970 Convention on the restitution and returns for valuable cultural property that were looted from different countries. Importantly, the discussion in today's Nigeria to have her looted artifacts returned began right from the independence, and different people have taken different aspects of it. But importantly, recently, I think with the move against all that is negative about humanity, the slavery, the windrush, these conversations have come up again, and Britain has not been excluded. The French president as well pointed a hand at all his European counterparts in 2020 when he said that these looting were akin to slavery itself. So Germany actually took a lead. People in London and England took a lead as well, and they've started having these conversations. And the British Council, the British government is beginning to have to key in. Since the Cockerel, I don't know if you heard about it. the okuko, the cockerel, was returned from Cambridge. I think the move to get more returned by Britain has become pertinent.
So it's happening now, which is a good thing. And just to say, it's not just Bristol and the UK that are guilty of housing artifacts belonging to Benin. It's around Europe as well. Just a history, a brief history. The Benin bronzes are more than just bronze sculptures. In the Benin Empire, which dates back to the 1100s, they are the main way of history that the rulers are recorded and have been described as ceremonial diaries of Benin Empire's long history. So, what values would the bronzes bring to Benin City today after such a lengthy period away?
I just want to corroborate what you just said. Doing some research prior to speaking to you, and since these returns were initiated, I went on to Google different research sites, and when I saw the numbers listed in different museums, I was like, wow. London Museum alone holds about 900, and in Germany we have over 300. The value for the people who are agitating, the real owners, can be listed under big headings. The first one is with respect to cultural identity and as a propagation of their narrative, of our narrative as a people. So, what I mean is, if I know where I'm coming from, then I understand where I'm going to. And anywhere in the world where I get to, I can never be made a second class citizen. Simply put, when these children of today understand the value of these things that their ancestors did many, many years ago, then you cannot undermine their importance in any society, because they know that even before proper civilization in certain places, their ancestors were already working miracles with mythology. So you can't undermine them. And then they push their cultural narrative. The other thing is the financial aspect. The financial aspect, which can be revenue generation and also the economic empowerment of the people. These things lie in museums around the world. In fact, I was looking at the price of the one in Bristol. One of them is estimated to cost at least £1 million. Honestly, if we begin to worry and bother that there's hunger in certain countries and we tag them resource poor nations, why don't we send their artifacts to them so that people can come there and look at it? It can generate income, it can generate employment for them as well.
Are you looking at museums and stuff like that to house all these artifacts when they get back to Benin and the other parts of Nigeria? Is that what the plans are for the city of Benin?
That's what the plans are. And kudos to the Oba of Benin and the current governor of Edo State, Governor Godwin Obaseki, as they work to create a museum of international standards, because that has always been the getaway clause. That how will you preserve these artifacts? So they are doing that now. And in fact, just to add that by 2022, Germany is actually projecting that they would have returned quite a number.
Okay, sounds good. At least the conversation is currently on its way, and I'm hoping and pray that the bronzes are returned in time and start generating some kind of value for Nigeria and Benin City itself. I've got to say thank you so much, but I have to say there is a statement from spokesperson from Bristol City Council. They said, we have been working with interested parties in Nigeria and those negotiating with them across Europe as part of the Benin Dialogue Group. Following discussions with the Legacy Restoration Trust in December, we are awaiting further information on next steps from the stakeholders in Nigeria. Once we have established a level of agreement for their plans for the new museum, we'll be able to progress with the action plan for the future of the artifacts currently in Bristol.
Fantastic. And it's not just Bristol. Even at the recent African Bar, the 6th of October in Niger, Niamey, they are talking about these things as well. So the whole world is talking.
Excellent. Loretta Ogboro-Okor, would like to have you back again for some historic aspect of your life and the work you're doing for humanity as well at some point. But at the moment, I just got to say thank you so much for taking your time out to speak to me this evening. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Kevin and team. Black history is a lifestyle and not just a month. Thank you.
Kevin Philemon.